It'll slip right up.
Hey guys, listen up. I'll try and keep it short. Tonight's word, somebody asked me last week to talk about success. Who was that asked me to talk about success? I'll do it next week. This week I want to talk about something that's probably the most important thing, to be second most important thing next to God, is family. And that's what we are. A couple of years ago, I told a story about a lady that was the most important person in my life. She was born in this country in 1934. At age 13, she was walking to school. It was very cold. Her brother took her mittens and she froze her hand into a fist. And they thought they were going to have to amputate her hand. Luckily they didn't, but to this day her hands are froze just like that. 3 years later, her oldest brother died in her bed of pneumonia. 2 years after that, her parents got divorced. Then a few years later, she found a wonderful man that was a Marine, sergeant. They got married, bought 3 acres, and over the next 10 years, they had 6 children. Then after that, he became mean and started beating the family. And for whatever reason, he never had a great family when he grew up, because his dad did the same stuff to him. So they got divorced in 1969. It was a rough time. And her third oldest son was sitting on the front porch of their house, and a car pulled up. The guy got out with a suit, walked up, put a piece of paper on the front of the house. So her third son went in and asked her what it was. And she said, in 30 days, we have to be out of our house with 6 kids. And I asked her where we were going to go. She said she didn't know. And a few years after that, 1976, her second oldest son died in a car accident right after he graduated. In fact, that year, or 2 years before that, she went back to night school to get her high school diploma because her principal would not let her graduate because she missed half a credit in 9th grade. That's when she froze her hand. So she quit school in her junior year. She went back to school and got her high school diploma and graduated with her 2 sons. 3 people from immediate family graduated together because it was important to her. In November of that year, he was killed in a car accident. Then a few years after that, her mother, that she didn't really have a great relationship with, I didn't see her that much, but she died on her couch and had a heart attack. She was through a lot of stuff. And then in 2006, her youngest son had surgery on his neck and died. And I met her on November 9th, and I told you guys last week, I came up on a Tuesday 2 years ago. It was a cold, rainy night because I wanted to be with you guys, with the guys on this team. Because I met her there, and she was standing there, and it was raining, it was kind of dark, and she was looking down to the left at her son Dan's headstone, and then back to her right of her youngest son Al. And I sat in the car and I watched, and I wondered what was going through her head, losing 2 of her sons. I got out of the car and I walked up to her. She wiped the tears from her eyes, turned around, gave me a big hug, and we both started crying for about 10 minutes. And I asked her this question, and it changed my entire life. Like I said last week, there's defining moments, guys. This one was. I asked her this question, with all the crap that happened in your life, losing 2 sons, having a husband beat you, you're going to lose your house, and the things you've been through, why didn't you quit and just give up? Why didn't you quit? She wiped the tears from her face and said these words, because it wasn't about me. It was about us. Family. That's what you guys are to me. Family. And if you guys treat each other like that, it's like on the sidelines. Last year, Connor Davidson's little freckle-faced brother was there, and I asked him the question, because most older siblings are mean and nasty to their younger ones. I don't know why, but yeah, they are. But I asked him this question. I said, how is Connor as a brother? And I haven't heard this very often. He said he's a wonderful brother. He treats me great. I love being around him. And then last week, on the sidelines, there were 2 little cute guys running around. They were James's brother. And all of a sudden, they were standing there, and everybody came to them, and I thought they were going to wipe both of them out. So I stood there to sacrifice me so they wouldn't hurt your brothers. And I asked them, guys, when you see that, just move back. But I'll ask you this, James. If somebody was beating your brothers up and hurting them, what would you do? What would you do? I can't hear you. Why? But that's the way it is, guys. It's family. But it's okay. I see out on the field, and you know what? I seen over at Holly. It's like Mr. Hamilton there took care of somebody, you know, that's beating up on it. And that's the way you guys got to be. You guys got to treat each other like brothers, like family, because that's what we are. It's family. You know what? You can say anything you want about your family, but don't let anybody else say it. And that's what you got to do. And remember this, guys. When you think your parents are on your back in life, most of the time, they'll be the only ones that'll ever have your back. And that's what we got to do, guys, with family. And that's what this week's word is, family. And that's why I come out, guys, because you know what? Somebody asked me a couple years ago, why do you do it? Do you have a son on the team? Which one's your boy? I said, pick one. They're all mine. Every one of you guys, I feel the same exact way about. And the stupidest thing I ever heard in my life, when my oldest brother died, and my mom had 6 kids, or 7, she had 7 kids then. One of the boys that were killed in a car accident, there were 4 of them. One of them was my best friend that lived down the street. But another mother was standing there, and I heard this lady say to another lady, wow, at least she's got 6 more kids. She only had 1. And I went up to her and I said, it doesn't matter how many you have. When you lose one, it still hurts. And that's with you guys. Every one of you guys, like with my mom or your parents, it doesn't matter if there's 1 or 10. They still love each one of them the same. And that's what I feel about you guys. Every one of you guys are important to me. Every single one. I don't care if you're the star on this team or you never get in the game. If you're not here, it makes a huge difference to me because it's not the same. It's like one of my family members is missing. And I enjoy being on the sidelines with you guys. I enjoy coming up here because I know you guys work hard, and that's why I bring the Gatorade up. I've been doing it for 9 years, and I hope to do it forever because I want to make a positive difference in people's lives. And you know what? I want to teach you guys to do the same thing, to make a positive difference. And it starts with, how many of you have younger brothers and sisters? Raise your hand, please. But even if you don't, if you have an older brother or sister, you can still be a good inspiration to them and encouragement, because we all need it. And encouragement, the word encouragement, it's like oxygen to the soul. Everybody needs it. So that's it, guys. Got the Gatorade over there for you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for working hard. I'll talk to you guys a little bit. Thank you, man. Thank you. Don't look at me like this.